Hello everyone. We are with the next groups of questions based on jurisprudence. The first question: what does locus standi mean in a legal terms? Locus standi refers to the legal rights of a person to bring a case to court requiring a direct stake or personal interest in the issue. How is natural law reflected in a Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism? Hinduism links it to dharma and karma. Buddhism emphasizes the noble eightfold path and ahimsa, and Jainism prioritizes non-violence and truthfulness. How does law function as a system of social control? By establishing rules, prescribing behaviors, and enforcing compliance through penalties. How has the evolution of PIL changed the legal landscape in India? The Supreme Court liberalized the PIL by allowing letters and petitions from public-spirited individuals, expanding access to justice. What is administration of justice? Administration of justice refers to the system through which laws are applied, disputes are resolved, rights are protected, and wrongs are punished. Why is the administration of justice important? It ensures fairness, protects rights, and upholds the rules of law in society. Name the primary institutions involved in the administration of justice. Courts, judges, lawyers, police, and correctional facilities. What role do courts play in the administration of justice? Courts interpret laws, hear cases, and deliver judgments. What are the different types of courts? Criminal courts, civil courts, family courts, district courts, high courts, and supreme courts. What is the role of judges in a justice administration? Judges interpret the law, make decisions based on evidence, and ensure fair trials. What is the function of lawyers in the legal system? Lawyers represent the parties in court, defend their rights, and ensure due process. How has the concept of locus standi evolved in India? The Supreme Court expanded locus standi through public interest litigation (PIL), allowing individuals or groups to file cases in the interest of the public, even if they are not directly affected. What is public interest litigation or PIL? PIL is a legal mechanism allowing any person or organization to file a case in a court on behalf of others whose rights have been violated, even if they are not personally affected. Which case marked a significant transformation of locus standi in India? S.P. Gupta versus Union of India 1981 expanded the concept, allowing PILs to be filed by individuals not directly affected. What was the Supreme Court's decision in a Lok Shakti Abhiyan versus Union of India 1998? The court ruled that any public-spirited individual or NGO could file a case for the protection of fundamental rights, expanding PIL scope. What role does karma play in Indian natural law? Karma represents the law of moral consequence, ensuring that good actions lead to positive results and bad actions to negative outcomes. What is compensatory jurisprudence? Compensatory jurisprudence is a legal approach focused on providing compensation to victims who have suffered harm due to others' actions or negligence. How does compensatory jurisprudence differ from punitive justice? While punitive justice punishes the wrongdoer, compensatory jurisprudence aims to restore the victim's losses. Which area of law commonly apply compensatory jurisprudence? Tort law, contract law, and workers' compensation law. What are the main types of compensation under compensatory jurisprudence? Monetary compensation, restitution, and injunctive relief. What factors determine the amount of compensation in a case? Medical expenses, extent of injury, lost wages, and emotional distress. How is compensatory jurisprudence applied in workplace injuries? Workers can receive compensation for injuries sustained at work, often without needing to prove employer fault. How does compensatory jurisprudence promote social justice? By ensuring fair compensation for victims, particularly in cases of human rights violations or discrimination. How does the Indian Constitution reflect natural law principles? Through the directive principles of state policy, which promote justice, equality, and human dignity. What is an example of law aiding economic development? Land reforms can provide farmers with property rights, improving agricultural productivity. What is the role of law in resource redistribution? Laws can redistribute wealth through taxation, social security, and labor policies. Why does the socio-economic approach study economic inequality? It examines how legal systems contribute to or mitigate inequality and access to justice. Why are laws considered obligatory? Laws are obligatory because they are created by a recognized authority and must be followed within its jurisdiction. How do police contribute to justice administration? Police investigate crimes, gather evidence, and enforce laws. What is the purpose of prisons and correctional facilities? They punish and rehabilitate convicted individuals. What are the key principles of justice? Fairness, impartiality, due process, and the rule of law. What does fairness in justice mean? It ensures equal treatment regardless of status, wealth, or influence. Why is impartiality important in justice? It ensures decisions are free from bias or external influence. What is due process? The right to a fair trial, legal representation, and a protection from arbitrary detention. What enforces compliance with the law? Compliance is enforced through coercive power such as sanctions, fines, and imprisonment by the police and courts. Which legal theorist is associated with legal positivism? H.L.A. Hart. What does legal positivism argue about law? It asserts that law is a product of human decisions and it should be separated from moral considerations. Despite challenges, in which areas does natural law remain influential? Human rights, constitutional law, and justice. How does the obligatory nature of law ensure social order? It regulates behavior, ensuring individuals adhere to social norms and rules. What role does corporate accountability play in compensatory jurisprudence? It holds corporations responsible for damages caused by their actions, such as environmental harm or product liability. What are some limitations of compensatory jurisprudence? Difficulty in quantifying harm, delays in compensation, and challenges in enforcement. How does compensatory jurisprudence address government liability? Citizens can seek compensation from the government for negligence in areas like public health and infrastructure. How are political science and law related? Political science studies government and power structures, while law provides the formal rules and regulate them. How does law function as a tool for political governance? Law ensures order, stability, and regulates political power, shaping rights and duties of citizens and institutions. Which political philosophers have influenced the legal theory? Plato, Aristotle, Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau have significantly influenced the legal and political thought. What role does law play in political stability? A functioning legal system maintains social order and protects rights, ensuring stable governance. What is the role of legal sanctions in enforcing laws? Legal sanctions deter illegal conduct and ensure accountability by imposing penalties on violators. Which constitutional articles in India reflects natural law ideals? Article 21, there is a right to life and a personal liberty. How did Gandhi's philosophy relate to natural law? His concept of satyagraha was based on truth, non-violence, and universal moral values. Which Western thinkers influenced the Indian views on natural law? John Locke, Rousseau, and Aquinas influenced scholars like Bhagwan Das, Gandhi, and Ambedkar.